This is a resume. This is the most creative resume I ever got in my life. So this guy wanted to do a graphic design position at Nokia a couple years ago, and he created a box of Frosted Flakes with his resume on it.
Wow.
I still have it, and it's like 7 years later.
Did he get
It's on my
hired?
desk.
Did he get hired?
Yeah.
Oh, you might have another box
Yeah.
with your.
And there were Frosted Flakes inside too. It was actually a smaller box.
Do you find, now if an engineer had sent you that, would it had the same impact? I think, because what I'm trying to get is a job specific. Graphic arts
Yeah.
people are more,
Sure, artsy. So I think if an engineer, wanted to send me something, it probably would be, a compiled C program that would, I don't know.
right.
I've seen a lot of creative engineers, so I wouldn't underestimate engineers because they tend to be very creative or musical as well, but that's definitely a graphic artist. Things that are going to stand out. Because recruiters don't look at resumes, we don't look at paper anymore. It's all on screens, it's all on websites, it's all who you know. So I will go in every day and look at all the employee referrals because 30% of our hires are employee referrals. Because they're people that know people and then we check them out.
Now, are those hard copy resumes?
Excuse me?
Are those hard copy resumes, or is it?
No, they actually, our system is where they have to enter the person in through the internal website. It's kind of like, almost like a monster interface or a career builder. They have their own profile, they can look for I can look for jobs and keep jobs posted internally and track them, and they refer someone and the system says, okay, John referred this person. And it keeps track, so if we hire them, even if they don't get that job, if they get another job, you get paid.
But would I also be forwarding their resume to you?
Yeah. Yeah, so internal people, if they say they have a referral, I want to see the resume right away.
Right.
I tell them to put it in the system. So definitely use your network of people who you know at that company. Be persistent. Lonnie is very persistent. He is very persistent.
No, Lonnie's irritating.
All
I
right.
know a lot of people attest to that fact too.
There was a guy that I hired. Who was the guy? He was at HP. He was a mechanical engineer from Germany, Michael Klausenbrock.
Oh, yeah.
There was this guy who was in Germany, and he was calling me at HP in Rancho Bernardo for a mechanical engineering job back in like 1994, and I was saying, well, we can't get you a visa, so are you going to marry some American girl? And he was like, yeah, actually I am. That's what I want to do. But it's not happening yet. And he sent me Christmas cards. And about a year and a half went by, and he called me up one day and said, I have a fiance and we're getting married and we're in San Diego. And I was like, come on down. And he worked there for a long time.
Plan.
So be persistent.
It works.
Be persistent. Let's see. Look up the contact recruiter. This has been a nightmare for recruiters. Look, a lot of times on jobs, if you go to job postings, it'll tell you who the recruiter is. Sometimes it doesn't. But if you can find out who the recruiter is, look them up on LinkedIn, Facebook, and connect to them. I hire more people through LinkedIn now, passively, but I get a lot of active. It's a great tool. And recruiters can actually we purchase an account that I can email anybody in LinkedIn. I don't have to wait for the connections. So I can, if I'm looking for, the other day I was looking for an engineer in New Jersey that does CDMA phones. So we wanted someone from Motorola, and I found a testing manager in Motorola in New Jersey and emailed him and said, do you have anybody? And he sent us one of his contractors that he can't get a job, and we hired him. So it's really I don't know what the world's coming to. It's kind of scary.
Yeah.
you can be found no matter,
Yeah.
no
it's
matter
kinda
what you
scary.
want, you can be found.
Yeah, what happened, 40 years ago, stores closed on the weekends and the bank closed at 4 o'clock and, we didn't have ATMs or CD machines.
That world is gone, man.
It's gone. Let's see, okay, the next point is customizing your resume for the position. So this is important. I do this. If I'm applying for jobs, which I do at least twice a year, even if I'm not interested in looking, see a job at SAIC, right? So I copy the job description, put it in a folder on my hard drive. Then I customize my resume and I call it Zach Resume SAIC March 2008. Because a lot of times companies won't call you for 2 months or 3 months, and then they talk to you about the job, and the job's not posted anymore, so you got it there. So you really, and customize it. I'll leave out a lot of stuff that's not pertinent to the job. So I, have a different resume for a staffing manager versus, a senior recruiter versus a, supply chain analyst versus a strategy person in HR. So, this is probably a lot of stuff that you know, but create the file folders. And what's that bottom line? Oh, tell the truth on your resume. So Mike knows. How many people have you hired, Mike?
Quite a few.
Somebody puts something on the resume and they
Yeah,
don't have it.
you're gonna get called on.
Yeah, you're not even going to be hired.
But one thing I want to point out is the difference between the truth and being somewhat nebulous. In other words, you don't want to lie. I don't want to tell people I'm the world's greatest C language programmer, because I'll be sitting in front of a guy who is, and then I have to prove it. But if I write in my resume that I have experience in the following programming languages, C, assembly, Fortran 4, whatever, I wouldn't put that in.
Right.
But whatever I've done, I put that in there, and then when I sit down in front of the people, or I talk to them, they said, so you've done some C? And I said, yeah, like 50 lines or something like that. But it got them to call me. And then it allowed me to show them that I was honest. So that I just wanted to interject. I hope you don't mind.
No, I'm
Because it's not
talking
really a
about
lie.
blatant. There's been some blatant people saying that, they've independently did this and saved the company, created this software. It just doesn't bode well, because the company's investing a lot of money in you. And you get to an interview, which most companies do, these behavioral interviews. They have for years, and HP's kind of led the way with that. That they're really going to look at your past performance and really flush out if you're, giving them a lot of bull or not. So they're pretty good techniques where we can tell if, people are really telling the truth or not.